what the narcissist uses to control people. Think about that for a minute. So the narcissist needs control, and they need control not only of people, but of narratives, of events, of the rhetoric that's being told, of who talks to who. The narcissist figured out who you were probably within a minute or two of meeting you. They knew what made you tick. They figured it out a little bit over time. And as soon as they knew who you were, they said to themselves, wow, this one's rare. I haven't met somebody like this. I've heard about people like this person, and I'm referring to you, but I haven't met somebody like this. Somebody with grade A level of empathy, a grade A level of supply, somebody who doesn't know what narcissism is, and somebody who has the ability to love and has a deep level of commitment and compassion, and somebody who is wearing their heart on their sleeve. Again, that describes you probably in a nutshell perfectly. It describes me to a T, or I should say it used to describe me, because this is when I was uneducated. Over years and over time, I've become, and I've termed and coined this term over years, the educated empath. The educated empath is the narcissist's worst nightmare. The people, the collective consciousness of the planet, who are empaths and who are educated, we defeat the narcissist without even trying. And you may say, well, whoa, I want some of that. How do I become the educated empath? And how do I get free from the narcissist? Well, stay with the video. I'm going to give you more nuggets of wisdom and more tools to put in your own arsenal, in your own tool belt, to insulate and protect yourself from negativity. But your empathy is something the narcissists try to steal from you. They try to weaponize your empathy against you. They try to control the level of empathy you had. And they did that with everything else, with your money, time, love, you name it. They tried their best to take it. But what the narcissist does is when they figure out what certain people possess and what certain people have and what is important to said person or people, then they want to twist it around and have those people doubt themselves, have those people blame themselves, and have those people not believe in themselves. And the narcissist is a master at doing this. The narcissist is a master manipulator. That's about as much credit as I will ever give these parasites, because truth of the matter is, before you figured out who they were and what they did and what they're capable of, you had no idea. So yeah, they did master their skills of manipulating people and of trapping people and guilting people and what? That's right, and controlling people. So what the narcissist uses to control people, here we go. One would be your heart. Think about it. You have a heart. You probably have a huge open heart, just like myself. And my hope is that heart has been kept open and it hasn't been hardened, and you haven't become somebody different than you were in the past that can't be fixed. Which means this in a nutshell. Yeah, you went through challenges. Yes, you're probably still healing, but you need to understand you can't let the narcissist change you forever. The narcissist has certainly shifted the trajectory of your life. They've definitely changed the trajectory of the direction you were going in. But all they did in real life is they were in your life for a period of time, and they did what they could do, but they couldn't destroy you. They can't control you any longer. And they tried their damnedest and they tried their hardest. But your heart is the first thing. You see, this is something that these people don't have. Yeah, do they have a physical heart like you do? Of course they do. But do they have the ability to love? No, they don't. And they want to steal love and use it for themselves. And they want to misdirect your love from other people into them, knowing that your love would not be reciprocated. So your heart's a huge thing. When the narcissist knew that you had a heart, they tried their best to capture it, control it, stomp on it, extinguish it, and put it out. But they failed. Another thing the narcissist uses to control people, a huge one, that more people are beginning to understand, it is children. Now, I don't talk about children as much on the channel for my own reasons, but I will share this. If you were a parent or step-parent to children and you married the narcissist or weren't in a relationship with someone who turned out to be the narcissist, then you now know that you were tethered to them for at least the period of time that you were in that relationship, or until the child turned a legal age, which usually is approximately 18. That is why the narcissist wants to have kids. Now, there are many more reasons than just that, but if the narcissist can have a kid or a child with somebody who has a heart, which was you, and it was me, stepdad here, not any longer, but having said that, then they know that you're going nowhere because you have two of the staples of what it takes to be a good human being. You have the ability to love with your heart, and you care about other people, and you want to procreate or pay it forward by raising kids. If the narcissist knew this, they would do their best to make sure that that didn't take place. Now I'm referring to the kids. The narcissist most likely with you was counter-parenting, not co-parenting. Now I've touched on that for years. What that means in a nutshell is no matter what you said, they would take the other side. No matter what curfew you put in place with the kids, it would not be listened to or administered. No matter if you told your partner who turned out to be the narcissist that your 5-year-old kid did not deserve a smartphone, well, they would get the kid a smartphone at age 4.5. You see what I'm saying here? And your eyes are bulging out of your head right now and you're saying, how does this guy know these things? Well, I'm awakened, I'm aware. I was trapped in the cycle and now I'm out and I've healed. I have the privilege, the luxury, and the absolutely spectacular view of understanding humanity from wherever I am. Because I was on both sides of the table, both sides of the coin, being trapped and being free. And truth be told, in the first version of myself, before I even met the narcissist, I know what it's like to have rose-tinted glasses on, to be carefree and think that everyone loves you and everyone cares about you. Well, look where that got me. Now, having said that, those are two things that the narcissist uses to control people, your heart and kids. Another one, you should know this one. I'll give you 3 seconds to figure it out. 3, 2, 1. What is it? Ding, ding, ding. You got it. It's money. What does the narcissist love more than money? They love your money more than money. And what do they do with money? They control you or anything that you would or wouldn't do with the money. So again, I will not say anything about the narcissist, meaning if they worked or didn't. Whatever, if they brought money in or they didn't. Any way you cut it, if you were tethered to them, they were spending your money the way they wanted to spend your money or directing it the way they wanted to direct it. And if they could control you with money, whether it was yours, theirs, or common money, well, then that puts you behind the 8 ball, doesn't it? Yeah, of course. Because the narcissist knows that without money, they can't do what they want to do. And flip it. If you don't have money, meaning they took it from you or they hid it or they invested it or acted like they didn't have money or had you pay their way through life, whatever it was, well, now you don't have money and they do. Remember, everything with the narcissist is a zero-sum game. The narcissist believes they have to win at all costs, and they don't care who they hurt or damage or who they throw under the bus to get the victory. In the end, though, you must remember the narcissist loses. They are nothing but shallow, hollow. They're cowards, they're bullies, and they do lose. And why I say losing, because we are here on this planet in this thing called life for what? 50 years, 100 years, maybe longer, but this is just a blip on the radar. After this experience on this planet called Earth, who knows where we go or what we do? You have your own ideas, so do I. But what the narcissist doesn't get is what you do on this planet counts. It really counts. And you can't just go through life like a bull in a china shop destroying people's lives, thinking that in the afterlife that everything's going to be great and kumbaya and puppies and rainbows and you can do whatever you want to do without there being a price to pay. Wrong. There's a huge price to pay. And guess what? The narcissist now realizes that, yes, they, plural, do, because now they're understanding that getting supply for them is harder and harder each and every day. It's not like the heyday pre-2020 when they could just snap their fingers and 20, 30 people would say, of course, I'll be there in a minute. No, it doesn't work that way. Everything's shifted and changed, and truth be told, it's gone against the narcissist. You may think otherwise. You need to continue to watching the video and continue to keep getting your cup full. So money's another one. So I've mentioned your heart, kids, and money. Another one, think about this one. It's a huge one. What does the narcissist use for control? Another thing is they use status or what people think of them, essentially image or appearance or reputation. Now that's something that the narcissist takes a lot of pride in, that everyone loves them, everyone cares about them, all their exes they still talk to, etc. You need to take any words that the person you're considering ever told you with a big grain of salt. Truth of the matter is you should probably take it with a pound of salt because they made up a lot of things they told you. They stole other things from other people and they misrepresented whatever they told you, which means the narcissist may have told you a little sliver of the truth, but they probably left a lot of it out, and a lot of whatever they told you was probably made up. Yeah, there was some truth in there, whatever they told you, but not as much as you probably were giving them credit for. So their image, it's a huge one. Why do you think the narcissists, plural, if they have deep pockets or money, why do you think they donate money and splash it or plaster it all over social media? It's because they want people thinking a certain way about them, that they're so philanthropic, or they have so much philanthropy in them, or they give back and everything. Well, that's an image. You need to understand that if someone is doing something for accolades or attention or an image, it is not being done authentically or genuinely, which means they have an ulterior motive. You don't have an ulterior motive. You probably don't even know what an ulterior motive is because you don't think that way, nor do I. But the narcissist is always thinking. They're thinking about potential outcomes, who will fall into the trap, whose new trap they can set, who they can discard, who they can recycle, on and on and on. But one of the main things for the narcissist and how they control people is their reputation. Why do you think when let's say you were at a food court, way back when you went to food courts, and say you were with the narcissist, and of course you were grabbing your favorite food, whatever that was, at the food court, and of course they were getting something completely different from a food court restaurant halfway across the food court because they didn't want to eat where you ate because they were too consumed, although you didn't know it at the time, they were too consumed with all the shiny objects in the food court. And it doesn't mean food, it means people. So while they were appearing single when you were in the food court, this is years ago, what happened? Well, what they were doing is they were talking to you, or probably ignoring you, or triangulating you at your little food court table when you were sitting right in the middle of the food court, surrounded by probably a couple hundred or 1,000 people, not 100,000, 100 or 1,000, and they would be saying, "Don't do that, don't look there, they're looking at me," or "Don't say something like that, they can hear you," or "I can't believe you wore that shirt, it's got a stain on it," or "I can't believe you're looking at your phone, what are you thinking, people are observing us." You see, the narcissist never cared about you. They cared about everybody but you. And I just gave you a perfect illustration using an example that happened hundreds of times. Yes, I do mean that. Where you would be in a public setting, but the narcissist is still isolating you because they're performing for a huge audience of which they know none of those people, or very few of them, or maybe there was a supply source in there that they were actually trying to protect their image from. I can't tell you. But their image is absolutely imperative that it be maintained. That's why so frequently I've shared in videos over the years, calling the narcissist out, exposing them. That will do a lot of damage to the narcissist. Shouting from the rooftops, taking out a full page ad in the newspaper or whatever. Of course, it's going to create a narcissistic injury of which they may never recover from. However, and you shouldn't do any of those things, by the way, you should not do any of those things. However, what that will do is put a big target on your back. And now you poke the bear, and here we go. Now you'll go back for another round of abuse. The thing is, the narcissist has one speed, and it's full speed ahead. Remember I told you earlier, zero-sum game? If you get back on the radar of the narcissist, they will try to finish you off no matter what you think. That's why you need to go no contact, block said person, delete them, remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. All these things I'm mentioning to you equal control. The narcissist needs control. If they don't have control, then a person doesn't provide utility for them, which means they can't be controlled. When a person can't be controlled by the narcissist, that person has no value to the narcissist, which means the narcissist has to slither off elsewhere and try to find somebody they can control. That person they will try to find can't be you any longer. Remember, you were controlled when you were trapped in the narcissistic cycle. Unbeknownst to you, now you know an awful lot about narcissism, and you realize these people need control, or the dark energy needs control, and what they use to control people. We've talked about heart, talked about your empathy, children, money. Now we're talking reputation. I'll give you one more and then I'll close the video. Another thing that the narcissist uses to control people, and it's a huge one, and you may not even be aware of it. And yes, I'm only going to share 5 examples with you in this video. I could easily come up with another 5, make it 10, baker's dozen, 13, whatever number you want, it doesn't matter, but I'll give you one more, then I'm going to close the video. Think about what the narcissist, what is really, really important to them and how to control people. It is a 4-letter word. P-A-S-T. Yes, the past. Why do you think when you were communicating with the narcissist, when you were with them in the past, that they always brought up the past and they never discussed the present? The reason why is because they wanted to burn you out. They wanted to misdirect your energy, and they wanted you to pay a price for something you did or didn't do a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 30 years ago, or more. Essentially, what I'm sharing there is they didn't want to be accountable or introspect or actually tell you that they were wrong or that they're going to change or whatever. They can't do that because they know that The best way to say it is this: if they can stonewall you and redirect you back in the past and bring up the past, then you'll be defending that. And that's what they do. That's how they control people and get people off the scent, S-C-E-N-T, scent of what's actually happening, meaning the people being abused and trapped. And they have those people, and I was one of them, defending what did or didn't take place years ago in the past. The narcissist is a master of the past, because with the past, they can rewrite it, they can erase it, they can gaslight it, they can triangulate it, they can do whatever they want to, they can blame shift, they can do whatever they want to do. But the past is another big key thing that the narcissist uses to control people. I'm going to share this with you, then I'm going to close the video. If you know of somebody, I'm talking about present day right now, and not the narcissist. I'm talking about a different person, whoever you're thinking about. If there's somebody you're communicating with right now, and all they do is continue to bring up the past, stay with me here. That means that person has something they haven't healed from. Whatever it is, I can tell you, but I'd have to know about the person. But that means that they haven't healed from something. It could be a death in the family, could be something they haven't processed or gotten over, a childhood wound. It could be 1,000 different things. But if anybody is bringing up the past consistently, that means they're not living in the present moment. What I do each and every day is I live in the present moment, because I know what it's like to be trapped in the past. I know what it's like to be stuck in the narcissistic abusive cycle. And I also know that no one's guaranteed to be here tomorrow, which is why I do not, and I repeat, do not try to predict the future. An asteroid could hit the planet in 10 minutes. Anything could happen in 5 minutes. Something could happen tonight, tomorrow, I don't know. But I don't sit around thinking about those things. Again, I'll share it with you one more time. I take my lifelong lessons from the past, and I've applied them perfectly into present day. I live in the present moment. I do not predict the future. The narcissist tries their best to control people by keeping people stuck in the past, by playing on their heartstrings, by weaponizing children, money, time, empathy, and so much more. And their reputation is paramount for the narcissist. That's why once you see these things, you can't unsee them. And that's why you need to get as far away from said person as fast as you possibly can. Because once the narcissist loses control of a person, and that person heals and becomes the educated empath, they're untouchable. When I say untouchable, what I mean is this: you now see the signs. You now can read the signposts ahead. You now have discernment. You now know what it's like to be trapped. You now know what it's like to be free. And now you can read energy the way I can. At least that's my hope. And once you can read energy, believe me when I tell you, it will change your whole perspective on humanity and on how you spend your 24 hours in a day. Last thing I'm going to share before I close the video. We all have 1,440 minutes in a day. Yeah, think about that number. 1,440 minutes in a day. What you do with your minutes is extremely important. What you did with your minutes in the past when you were trapped with the narcissist, you were putting out their fires. They started intentionally. What you do with your time now is what you do to benefit yourself, to protect yourself, to maintain your boundaries, and to keep toxicity as far away from you as you possibly can. So play this video, play it a few times, send it to somebody who could use it, and understand that the narcissist will use anything that is of importance to you to control you. Once you realize that, and once you realize that that person never cared about you, they never loved you, but it's not just you, it's with everybody, then you really need to get as far away from them as you possibly can. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. One more thing before I close the video. It's a later video because I've been inundated with a lot of sessions, and I am grateful to be able to pay it forward and help you all out. If you are interested in a one-on-one session with me personally, drop an email at narcdailyvideos@gmail.com. That's narcdailyvideos@gmail.com. I will respond to you as soon as I can. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.